Let my light shine in the nighttime. Let it shine all day through. Let it shine, shine, Spirit. Let it shine, shine on you. Sing it again. Let my light shine in the nighttime. Let it shine all day through. Let it shine, shine, Spirit. Let it shine, shine on you. Take it away, guys. Shine in the nighttime, let it shine all day through. Let it shine, shine, Spirit. Let it shine, shine on you. Let it shine, shine on you.
Well, good morning and thank you for joining CSL Parker. I extend my warm welcome to our member community and to our global family. I'm Dr. Nadine Rogers, and I'm deeply grateful to be able to share the principles of living a spiritual life with you. And this month we begin a new theme, which is Wealth Everywhere, where we advocate for the infinite potential of spiritual truth within all people to create and live abundant lives. So I'm going to begin, as we do each week, with lighting the unity candle. And we do this knowing that light symbolizes the transformational power of spirit that lives within each one of us equally, uniting us all in this truth and in the courage to accept our capacity to expand our consciousness of acceptance and receive our divine inheritance. You know, here at CSL Parker, we practice spirituality every day. And we base this on the teachings of the Science of Mind and Spirit by its author, Dr. Ernest Holmes. He shares with us that his teaching is the correlations of the laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, and the revelations of world religions applied to human needs and the aspirations of man. And so how that is relevant to us is that we live in a spiritual universe, and we are indeed spiritual beings having a human experience, and that everything we think we may lack or need only and ever is available right within us, right where we are. You know, being an all-inclusive community and teaching, we honor all mindful paths to the one, and are learning together how to celebrate and honor diversity, as well as rejoice and become stronger in the things that unite us. We learn to be a student with humility and awe in this vast power for good within us and within the world. And we come to understand as we walk each other home that we teach by how we live, and that how we live becomes our prayer. So we know that you are blessed right here and right now. And so we ask you just to sit back and relax and enjoy our time of music and meditation.
we take this time to come together as community, as family, as friends, as a part of this beautiful planet, knowing that our world is held in loving arms, that we are held in loving arms. We stand together, shoulder to shoulder, opening our hearts, allowing the love and the compassion to surround us. That beautiful presence, that spark of the divine that we are. We simply open our hearts to this loving energy, and we take that energy and move it out into our planet. From our beautiful church home, our community, our state, to every part of our beautiful universe. Knowing that we stand for wholeness, health, love, brotherhood, peace, and great caring for our Mother Earth. We take this time knowing that we are one with the divine, one with all the love there is. And we simply step out of any of those feelings of division, of unwellness, of discomfort, of dis-ease, and stand up together, knowing that we bring love and peace to every part of our lives, our community, our beautiful country, our beautiful world. And we simply look around at the beauty that there is, our beautiful Colorado sky, the feeling of the grass under our feet, the feeling of peace in our hearts. We simply relax into this knowing and release anything that is unlike this peace and this ease and this grace, knowing that we are absolutely not alone. We are cared for. We are loved. There is a force in this universe, a force for good, and we can use that to uplift ourselves, our families, our fellow man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. And so it is.
There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. that you created. There is more than enough on the planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let the world know the truth, whatever we choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough. Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let the world know the truth, whatever we choose to do. Your infinite love will prove more than enough, more than enough, more than enough.
Good morning. Welcome to our message this morning on love as abundance. Last week, Dr. Nadine kicked off this powerful series with the title of Wealth as Abundance, and she used the acronym of WEALTH. And so she described all the various aspects of abundance through the lens of wealth. This week, I thought it'd be fun to take the topic of love as abundance. And so before I get into this any further, I'd like to define abundance or prosperity as Eric Butterworth describes it in Spiritual Economics. He defines prosperity as a way of living and thinking, not just money or things. He also says poverty is a way of living or thinking, not just a lack of money or things. So today, I want to look at how we live our lives as love. Dr. Butterworth also uses the phrase currency a lot, and currency is flow. Flow is all those aspects of our lives that just move effortlessly. And current, if we look at our money, many times it's called currency. Now, in life, I honestly believe that we as beings are tabernacles for spirit. We are the holder, the channel through which all this beautiful energy flows. And sometimes as beings, we can block that flow. And I'm going to describe for you this morning some ways that we do that. And I'll come back around to that in a few minutes. David Hawkins, in his newest book, The Map of Consciousness Explained, says that if we are to experience love in its fullest nature, we move to a place of sharing. You see, when the current is blocked or we dam it up, it stops flowing. When we stop sharing, we stop flowing. And so this beautiful energy needs a conduit through which to flow. So he is saying to us, consider the notion of shifting from gettingness to givingness. And I remember in my younger years, there were a lot of younger years, that I always wondered, what's in it for me? What am I going to get? And I looked at life as life deserved. I deserved that life would give everything to me. And so it was about getting. And then as I grew older and wiser and my consciousness expanded, I began to see that this is a two-way street. If I wanted to get, I probably should give, huh? So I moved into this place of givingness, and that's why it's such a joy for me to serve through doing these talks, through facilitating classes and those kinds of things. And Hawkins asked this question, how long does it take us to shift from gettingness to givingness? Well, the answer is very simple. 1 second. It's shifting our whole attitude, our way of being in that 1 second. In quantum physics, these things in our lives that are monumental shifts occur in just that amount of time, nothing, no time. Now, Paul Ferrini has written a book called Love Without Conditions, and that's the book I'm basing the new course on right now. And he says in this book that we should see ourselves, to see ourselves as we really are, we must look beyond our judgments. And to see another person as they really are, we must see them beyond our own judgments. So now you're probably getting the idea that if we're going to really be love as abundance, we need to start considering the notion of, could I just drop my judgments of everything? Could I stop judging myself? Could I stop judging others to see them truly as my brothers and sisters? So it means that we can begin to live our lives in an inclusive way. You know, we are taping this the morning after the election. So everything leading up to the election has been blue or red. And if you're blue, I don't like you. If you're red, I don't like you. And we begin to label people as red or blue. And it really doesn't serve us as spiritual beings. So what can we do? We can look beyond those judgments of others and see the pure nature of spirit in every person. So we can ask ourselves, am I building bridges or am I blowing bridges up? And in his book, Paul Ferrini describes we're either moving away from God or moving closer to God. So then I ask myself, is what I'm thinking, saying, or doing moving me closer to my God nature, my divine nature? Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, stated in his textbook, we should think of the world as our friend. And to do that, we should be a friend to everyone. I was thinking as I was preparing this talk that everyone in our lives is God in motion. What about, how do we treat the grocery clerks? How do we treat the person at the hardware store? How do we treat the workers who come to our homes and fix things? I had a water main break in my house a week ago. It was a major undertaking. So I had 3 workers here for 2 days. First of all, they cut a hole in my floor next to my laundry room. It was about 2 feet by 2 feet to find this leak. Now, speaking of abundance, I'm thinking cash register, ching, 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 ching. What is this costing me? And then I thought, well, wait a minute. I have workers here who are getting muddy, who are digging holes in my floor. And this hole in the floor must have been at least 5 to 6 feet deep. They were trying to find the water main. They couldn't find it. So at the end of the first day, the owner of the company said to me, well, we'll be back tomorrow. And tomorrow we have to tear your sidewalk outside. And we have to dig up your lawn. I'm sorry, we have to bring in a backhoe. So for me, it was a great challenge to move from fear to love. And what I noticed when I consciously thought about it is these people are working for me. Way back in the day when I was a kid, I remember my parents thinking, well, these people are here to take advantage of you and they're trying to get your money and all this stuff. So I consciously, deliberately shifted that to a place in my own mind where I said, these people are here to support you. Wake up. And I did. So the next day they came and they dug, oh my gosh, tree roots everywhere. Couldn't get the sidewalk broken up. They finally took a drill and drilled holes in it and broke it into pieces. Then they went down another 5 or 6 feet outside of my home, and lo and behold, there was a pipe about this long, and it had 3 big holes in it. So they found the problem, fixed it, put everything back together. I didn't tell you, but in my room in the basement where they dug the hole, there was mud and dirt piled about 3 feet high. They also said, well, your pressure tank is bad. We have to replace that. I was like, oh my gosh. However, because I'm preparing for this talk, I get to practice it, you know? It's so sweet. Now, anyway, it all ended up, it's back to normal. Then they recommended a really wonderful man to come in and repair my lawn, and he did that, and it's just beautiful. So, you know, love is always the great answer to everything, and Dr. Holmes said we should love everybody. And so I invite you in your life to see, where can you spread love? Where can I spread love? Because there are a lot of people out there. I know going into stores, sometimes the person will say, well, how are you? And I'll say, oh, I'm amazing, which is my standard response. And then I ask them, how are you? And you know what they say every time? They say, thank you for asking. What they're really saying is, thank you for noticing that I'm here, that I am alive, and that I am here to help you. The next book I want to talk about is one that's from quite a few years ago. Do you remember Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch? This is in book 1. You know, he had talks with God, and it was quite profound. So I really thought about, maybe I could turbulate everyone a little bit by sharing some of the things he said. And so here's one of the things he said. This is in book 1, page 121, if anybody wants to look it up. He said this, blessed are the self-centered, for they shall know God. Now, doesn't that kind of go against the grain of what we've been taught? Like, oh yeah, think of other people. Well, his contention, and by the way, self-centered is capital S. And his point is that unless we honor self and take care of self, what do we have to give to others? And it makes total sense, because if I'm depleted, what do I have to give you? So love is abundant says, I have this love and I share it with you. And he also goes on to say, this is why you have never truly, purely loved another person, because you have never truly, purely loved yourself. And he said that's why relationships fail, is because we keep looking out there instead of in here. And for me, what that amounts to is taking care of nurturing my relationship with my source first. And when I'm solid here, I know I'll be solid with you. And so he finishes this up by saying there's only one question to ask yourself in any kind of situation, and that is, what would love do now? And I think of our elections, and I think about the divisiveness in our country. And so I say, what can I do? How can I bring love to the healing? A little bit more now from spiritual economics. He spends quite a bit of time discussing gratitude. Now, he says that gratitude is most salutary. Well, I had to look that word up. I didn't even know what it meant. Gratitude is most creative. So when I am grateful, it creates in my life from a place of gratitude. And he goes on to say, the grateful heart doesn't need anything to be grateful for. And reading St. Paul did not say be grateful for everything. He said, in all things be grateful. So what that tells me is I come from a place of gratitude. He tells a story in this book of the missionary that went to work with this tribe in Africa, and it was the most impoverished group of people he'd ever met. And he pondered this. He thought, what? Why are they so impoverished? And finally, he figured out that they had no word in their language for gratitude or saying thank you. And it was really quite an amazing story. And now, from another tribe in Africa, I heard this other saying, which is the complete opposite, which is, in this tribe, they caught this person stealing. And, we would be, we got to do this, we got to punish, we got to do all these things to make this person sorry for what they did. What did they do? They got in a great big circle and they put this person in the middle of the circle. And every person in that outer circle said to the person in the middle, you're just the most lovely, special being on this planet. You have a special gift to give all of us. And each person went around and said something like that. Well, how do you think that person felt by the time they finished? Well, this is love as abundance. Butterworth also says in his book, tithing is a used and a misused word in a lot of churches, and people get abused by it. But here's the concept I want to bring out today. Butterworth says, bring the whole tithe. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means stop holding back. If you see a place to serve, serve. If you give 100%. Don't go, well, I can just do this much and then I'm depleted. You will be depleted because you stagnate, you dam up the current of energy that flows so perfectly through you. So the last thing then that he says is this: we should bless everything. Now, his definition for blessing, which I just think is great, he said to bless means to confer prosperity upon something. Wow. In my morning prayers, I live out here in the country, the beautiful country, and I walk around this piece of neighborhood here, I guess is the way to say it. And in that walk, when I do my prayers, if anyone is on my prayer list, I bless them. That is my prayer. So I bless Dr. Nadine, I bless Lisa, I bless whoever has requested prayer. And it really lifts me up when I do that, because what I'm doing is saying, if there's a block or a dam in my life, I release it. And I wish the best for everyone when I bless them. Remember, you and I hold the remote for our lives, and we can decide what channel we want to participate our lives in. And so now I'm going to move to kind of summarizing and closing up this talk for today, because I always do that. I always think it's good to say, okay, here's what I've said, and here's some things that you can do in your life. First of all, be gracious. Be full of grace. Grace means being in the flow. And I do those things by being grateful, by letting go of my judgments. I have a book I want to share with you. This is called Course in Miracles. And I did this program quite a few years ago, but in there on page 34 in the teacher's edition, the author says, it is necessary for the teacher of God to realize that not should he not judge, but that he cannot. God's Son is guiltless and sin does not exist. The aim of our curriculum, unlike the goal of the world's learning, is the recognition that judgment in the usual sense is impossible. Make then one more judgment. It is this: there is someone with you whose judgment is perfect. He does know all the facts, past, present, and to come. He does know all the effects of his judgment on everyone and everything involved in any way. Therefore, lay judgment down, not with regret, but with a sigh of gratitude. It is not difficult to relinquish judgment, but it is difficult indeed to try to keep it. And judgment to me is one of the contaminants for this flow of energy that goes through us. So when I notice that I'm having a judgment about something or someone or myself, most importantly, I then ask forgiveness for that judgment. And when I get finished with that request to release judgment, I always say thank you, because that says this is the end of this. I'm letting it go now. So be forgiving of yourself, then others. But here's what the deal is. It's very simple. When we forgive ourselves and we see ourselves as guiltless, then we will see the world as guiltless. We will then see through a pure lens. So the statement I would make is this: forgive, forgive, forgive. Jesus said forgive 70 times, meaning infinite amounts of time. If there's something there, and we always know, forgive it. This is how we open up the conduit to have love as abundance in our lives. Do you know that life is a feedback loop called karma? And so whatever goes out must spin back on itself, as Emerson says, in all its alienated majesty and come back to be with us. So we can't really get away with anything, can we? So I want to just say to all of us, let's enjoy our lives. Let's have love as abundance. And let's keep this channel of spirit pure, clean, and holy. Bless you, everyone. Have a magnificent week. And that's it.
Good morning, everyone. A few quick announcements. This Thursday, November 12th, from 7 to 8 p.m., we will be having a town hall meeting. The topic is moving forward. Let's connect and explore the many ways of how we are showing up during these uncertain times. And the following Thursday, November 19th, our band leader, Alicia, will be hosting a living room concert. Join us from the comfort of your home and listen to both covers and original tunes by Alicia. Love donations are completely optional, but always greatly appreciated. All love donations will go directly to Alicia. And finally, for you overachievers who are witnessing this service on Sunday morning, don't forget that we have an after chat scheduled for 11 a.m. That will be your opportunity to take a deeper dive into the sermon topic, ask questions, and connect with others from our center. Instructions on how to attend all of these items are included in your email blast. See you soon.
So now I invite you into a personal investment that I like to call sacred and faithful giving. Knowing that there is an infinite flow of prosperity and abundance that is operating in, through, and as us at all times, no matter our present circumstances. In this, we can open our consciousness of acceptance by giving with a grateful heart. And you know, when our souls are fed by the practice of giving, we can be certain that our gift will bless both the giver and the receiver many times over. So for your convenience, we provide you with various ways in which to make your donation. You can click on the box at the top of the screen. You can donate on our website or via Zelle. Or if you are more inclined and are more comfortable, you can simply mail a check into our office location. This is our new address. We receive and appreciate your tithes and your gifts. You know, we thank you so much for supporting us in remaining a vital and vibrant and thriving center in which you can find your spiritual nourishment. So I invite you now to affirm your prosperity through the power of your own word by saying this with me. I attract all good things into being. The power of my faith enhances my experience of health, relationship, finance, fulfillment, passion, purpose, and joy. The creative source in my life is in a constant state of perfection, freely giving itself as my bounty. And so it is. And now, our offering song.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
And now for our benediction. Will you join me in prayer? We've been blessed by your presence here today, and by the presence of all those who have come from far and wide to join us this morning to remember that Spirit is who they are. All is well here, and we know that the source of all the creative mind and spirit is moving within the life of me, of you, of all humanity in divine right action and divine right timing. It gives of itself fully and freely, guiding, guarding, and directing our lives, and allowing us and calling forward in us that opportunity to expand our loving expression, no matter the conditions that we perceive in life. We give thanks for living in such an abundant universe. We give thanks that there's enough for all, and that we are enough just the way we are. We give thanks that the universe is receptive, that is affirmatively responsive, and that it is our nature and our divine inheritance to live abundantly and live an abundant life. We affirm our capacity to demonstrate our faith through the giving of our time, through the giving of our talents and our treasures without measure. We never miss an opportunity to affirm that the infinite source of supply lives right within us, right where we are, and that we have full access to it. There is a power for good in this universe, and we can choose to use it. Life is a blessing, and so are we, and so it is. Amen.
To be humble, to be kind, it is a giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. And to be bold, to be brave, it is a thinking that the heart can still be saved, and the darkness can come quick. The danger's in the anger and in the hanging on to it. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other, nothing more. And tell me what it is that you see, a world that's full of endless possibility. And heroes don't look like they used to, they look like you do. each other when the day is done. We are peace.